Hi everybody, very good morning. Welcome to this core development concepts. So I hope you are all able to see the screen and as well as my voice is audible. So just a quick look what we have seen yesterday. We just take a review of what we have seen yesterday. We started with topics. So please take a screenshot of this page if you want. So that you are aware that what are all the topics we are planning to cover and what is pending. So in case if anything I missed out, you can uh, check and then update us as well. So this is the topics that we are going to cover in next 20 weeks. So we started with yesterday. We are on the week one thing, that is HTML. The content to HTML is where we are in, and that is what we are started yesterday with. So we just quickly understood what this HTML is. The initial development, what the purpose of HTML was one, but later it has become a full-fledged web page design. Everything is part of HTML. So this HTML is the basics for any development. To be precise, PWA concept that is called progressive web app. That concepts, it makes this HTML itself is rendered onto the mobile device. So that means I don't need a separate mobile program, Google App Store or any of the App Store. I don't need any of that now. The HTML itself is, it will look like an app itself. In mobile, it looks like an app itself. So that is the progress that has happened with the HTML. So you don't need a separate mobile app as well today in current technology that is available with us. So it has started with initially to just make sure that we share the communication between different people in a proper formatting. That formatting is uniform across. For example, Word document, if you take, it is applicable for a Word document. It is not applicable for any other document that we open because that is compatible only with Windows. Docs file or doc file is compatible with only Windows. You cannot just like that open in the editor. You cannot see it. You can see only a junk characters. To make that formatting uniform, they came up with a concept called HTML, and that concept has percolated in such a way it is today, that is the entire web page browser uses this concept. So behind the scene, HTML uses the concept called JavaScript, which will come to that little later. So this is what this HTML is all about. One is hypertext, which is nothing but a link. Markup language, which is nothing but how you structure your data. So that is elements, etc., which come under that markup language. So it's widely used and it is now supporting even mobile browsers. These are all the tags that are available. We call this as mostly important elements. We call this as elements. Basic tags where we have seen H1, H2, H3, H4, etc. Elements are nothing but starting tag, closing tag together called elements. That is called elements. Attributes that we are going to see today. Formatting, we might be touching that today. Parsing, yes, we might touch maybe tomorrow or day after. Meta comments, that is, we'll touch later, not now. We'll not touch it now, but we'll touch later because it has its own different purpose. We'll come to that later. It is basically like search engine optimization uses meta tags. Comments, to just make sure that people understand your code, we need to introduce the commands. So how to introduce the commands to know what you are trying to convey from the code perspective, that is where the commands are used. We'll see how to use it, where to use it and all as we go. Images tags are basically img tag. It is basically to move to the images from HTML. Tables, very important, that is directly pointing to the layouts. So layouts uses precisely the tables. Tables are the mostly used in the HTML perspective to make sure that layouts are properly aligned, properly given. Right now, you can see column 1, column 2, column 3. You are seeing 3 columns in the PowerPoint, right? Each one is a block. We know each one is a block. So if I want to do the same idea in HTML, that is going to be one of your exercise, right? How do I bring the same data in HTML? That is going to be your one of your task. Same thing you need to bring it in the HTML. That is where the tables plays an important role. List, we just started with UL. UL is there, OL is there. One UL is nothing but an unordered list. OL is nothing but ordered list. I don't know whether I have said it yesterday or not. So list, you have UL and OL. Text links, normal text, you just underline it, the link. Image links, that will click on it, it will take you to the subsequent page. Email links take you to the Outlook or etc. Block inline, that will touch today. More on that. What is block, what is inline, will touch today. Background, it is basically the HTML page. You can set a background image for the entire page. You can have a watermarking. You can watermarking and all done through background image. So for the entire page, you move from one page to another page, the wall watermarking remains the same. That how to do it, we'll see that. Form control, this is where the interaction comes into picture, where you give a user to search, user to give a input data. All that comes through forms control. Header, it's a head is a topic. H1 is the header 1, H2 is the header 2, H3 is the header 2. There are 6 types of headers. Head is the another concept. Head is also used as an header. That head concept we just see in head and body. Any HTML, there is a header, there is a body. So the header is used for certain purpose. Meta tag and all comes under header. Comments is in all the places. Either it has to be part of header or it has to be part of body. So that's how the HTML, you have to plan it. So you cannot have a content outside the body. It is not advisable. Still it will work, but it is not advisable. Style sheets, we are going to see, this is called, we call it as a CSS files. JavaScript, script tag, this comes under script tag. Tag name is script. Layouts, it is layout uses all this concept, layout users to make the website appealing. Yesterday we just did something, but it is all crude way. It is not appealing, right? This is what we have seen. We started with. This is what we are going to see as part of HTML. This we have seen different events. What is events? We'll touch upon as we move on. Don't worry about today. Events are, as I said earlier, events are the action items of a HTML elements. What I want to do with that element is driven by the events. There are different forms of events. Windows event, that is with reference to the OS. Form events with reference to the form data. Keyboard events with reference to the keyboard typing. Mouse events with reference to the mouse move, trackpad, all that comes under mouse events. Media events comes under players, MP3 player, media player. In this today's concept of HTML5, you don't need a separate player. You can bind, it is already bound with the HTML5 itself. So I don't need a separate player to be installed or open a pop-up window. All those things are not required in the HTML5. There was wherever I have used old, that means it is a old HTML. There, it is there from old HTML. It is supported even with HTML5. Wherever I have not mentioned anything as a prefix or suffix, then it is available as the new HTML5. HTML to HTML5 automatically it is done. It is browser job. It is not your as you don't do as such anything as an independent thing. It is browser takes care of it. As long as you have an upgraded browser, you have that HTML5 enabled. HTML5 has a lot of unique advantages in terms of dealing with the what do you call rendering of the page. So there are a lot of concepts behind the scene. We'll talk about it as we come nearer to the technical part of it. So these are all the things we just started with this area. Any questions as of now? What we have seen yesterday, you have any questions? Please let me know before I move on to the other topic areas. Any questions? If you have, please let me know. Have you had a breakfast? Yes. I need notes. What we do is we upload all these notes through the part of what do you call file. We'll add it as part of the file. I'll try to. You'll have two types of files. All the HTML that I make, that will be one. Files will be uploaded. All the PowerPoint, we will share it through the thing. PowerPoint will get updated every day. It will get updated. You can use that as part of your macro level. All the exercise that will happen later in the day, that is after 40 minutes of the class, that you need to plan yourself. That is all you have to do. We will have a supporting member from our team, so we support you on that exercises. That will not be part of any class notes or anything. Whatever I do, that will be part of the class notes. We can work with Notepad. Yes, it is good enough. Notepad plus is good. Notepad is, you don't see a syntax. Better use Notepad plus plus. Okay, perfect. So cannot log into Open Mentor. Please reach out to our support team. Open Mentor is a straightforward. You need to register in Open Mentor. Without registration, you cannot do that. Open Mentor spelling mistake is there. Openmentor.net. I think our team member can give that link here in the question and answer. Openmentor.net. They will give the things. Yesterday video is already uploaded, if I'm right. Rajesh, if you are there, you can comment on that. Is it already uploaded?
It's already.
Yeah, please share the link here in this class if you can.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
Please note, all requires a login. Open Mentor, you need to log in to access the videos. Events, yes, we'll go through each of the events, wherever mostly used events. I will not touch more about the media side, but most used events we'll touch upon. Okay, MCQs and all will be there. Okay, perfect. So that is that. You can see the link here, and you have to register, and video is accessible from this link. Okay, perfect. So I'll go to today's session. As I said, I'll start with yesterday. We started with this documents, etc. We today what we do is we first understand what is this block elements and inline elements before I move on to the actual thing. So every HTML, I'll open a notepad. I'll shuffle between a notepad and HTML. This page, I'll shuffle between these two pages. So I'll just open 1 second. I'll go back to my notepad plus plus. I'll go back to my notepad plus plus. I prefer everybody to do the typings. Initially, don't do the copy paste because copy paste, sometimes you think you remember it, but actually you will not remember it. Type it, then only you will understand the syntax, understand the problems if you are facing, you will understand it. Especially if you are all a beginners, you are all new to this concept, please type. Don't hesitate to type. So, and always leave the tag like head, right? Close the tag. Please note it is a forward slash to close the tag, and then use the entry. Then always use the indentation so that your one tag is not for first one, you don't need it. For if it is there, it is fine. So header, as I say, title, upskill program. I'm just giving this title. You just notice that where this title is reflected when I execute this make spelling mistakes, make do as far as possible, do as many mistakes as possible, right? So another thing, important thing that I missed out, HTML. HTML is very important. HTML has to be between the start and end point. Practice, practice, practice. Without practice, you cannot remember. Please remember, I don't know, you are all new generation people. When I'm talking about 90s period, right? In 90s period, we never have a phone. There is no mobile phone. You have to dial the phone. And we used to remember all our clients' phone number in memory. I don't have to go for a contacts or anything. Today, I'm sorry to say, sometimes my wife number also I need to check the mobile, right? So that is the case today. Father's number, mother's number. I need to see the mobile. Whereas in the olden days, it was not like that. I used to remember around 100 to 200 phones. All my clients, I used to remember their phone number in memory. So this is what yesterday we did. Under body, we created something. So heading 1, this is heading 2. Try to create without body, try to see any error message comes, try to use different browser. All that you explore now. If you don't explore now, you will not have a time to explore it at the later date. This is the, just we did this yesterday, but today I typed it, yesterday I copy pasted it. So today I typed it to make sure that you have to practice in this way. You have to type, right? Then only you will remember what you do. Okay, so I save this file. I'll save it under, we have yesterday we created upskill folder. Underneath this folder, I'll just save it as class 2 HTML1 HTML1.html. I save this file. I go to the browser, go to that location, class 2 HTML1. I right click, open with, I'm using Chrome. You can use Firefox, you can use Chrome, any browser for that matter you can use. You can see that this is what we are seeing. You see the upskill program is on the top. So anything you specify in the title, it will come on the top. If I give 2 title tab, what will happen? You can check. You can find it out. Whether it gives error or it doesn't give error, the first title is shown on the. These are all what you need to practice when you are practicing. You do mistakes, non-conventional things. It is not conventional, but you do it. Like, child, when you give the laptop to the child, what it will do? It will hit all the keypads. It will hang the laptop in no time. A child can hang the laptop in no time. If you give it to the proper developer, he never hangs it. He cannot hang the laptop. So that is the difference, right? You do it when you are practicing, you have to practice it as if you don't know anything. Then only you will learn a lot. Okay. With that, so this is what we did yesterday. Now, if you notice here, heading 1 and heading 2 are coming in line above and line below. And there are some gap between that. This is what I'm precisely talking about, markup, this block elements. This block elements means it will, there automatically it will go to the next line. If anything, I do it here, right? B, I, U, any of these inline elements, it will not move from one line to another line. Let me try that here now. So one is block elements. Block elements, whatever the content here, H1, H2, H3, definition, paragraph, anything you do, it will always come to the next line. One indentation, another indentation, it will always come to the another line. Paragraph, right? My para, right? P. So I'll just put, you can see now line 1 is line 1, H2 is line 2, or H3 is line 2, para is line 3. So that is how it will display in the browser. Right? In browser, it will display. This is very, very important concept from the layout perception. I go back to the upscale. I refresh the page. You can see my para has come down. Now let me just put it in another way. Another tag that is called a div tag. Div tag, my div. Div tag is a block content. Span tag. Another is span tag. Okay, I'll put it. You may be thinking that I'll do it like this. You may be thinking there is a possibility that just because we have put it below the line, it is jumping but between one line and another line. So I'll put it in this way. There is no line, end of the line. Okay. Please remember there is no end of the line in HTML. You need to specify. That is where the block element name comes into picture. My span 1, my span 2. You might be saying that why span is not part of the my tag names, right? These are all called grouping candidates. It is not as such, it doesn't have any meaning. It will just go with what you put it inside. That is what it means. So div and spans are generally not tags that called as a tag. Paragraph is a tag because it has a specific attributes. Specific attributes that is there with the paragraph. Header 1, the size, space. As I said last class, when I do the inspect element, I shown you that, right? In that way. Now I saved it, refresh the page. You can see my div 2 came in line 1 and line 2, even though I put it on the same line. Whereas my span 1, my span 2, it comes in the same line. This is called inline. This is called blocking candidate. All these are blocking candidate. Blockers. That is, it will block one after the other. So there is no definite end of line controls in the HTML. It is all how you specify, how you display it, right? So div, I put it on the same line. I'm going back to the notepad. I put it on the same line, but still it appeared as a two different line. Whereas span 1, span 2, I made it in the same line and it has appeared on the same line. I'll put it like this as well. For this, I save it. I made it as a two independent line. When I refresh it, you can see I refreshed already. You can see that it is coming in the same line. Please, very, very important concept in HTML is this, right? Blocking inline. Block inline. Block inline. Is this clear? Have you understood this? In today's practice, you need to ensure you different combination. I have given all the blocking candidates, right? You need to try all these candidates and you need to try all these inline candidates, understand how these two work, right? Understand how this works, how understand what this block code works, what is this address field works. I don't have to explain each and everything, right? If you are tend to forget, you will forget. So I don't have to. So what I mean by block elements, you need to be very clear because this is very important part when we come to the layouts. Layouts are the one where you will exactly form the web page. You exactly design the web page. That is where the layout comes into picture. Layout uses all this component in such a way so that you use it effectively. So where to use div, where to use span, I have to be very clear. So within span, what will happen if I do a div element? Within span element, I make one span element. I said is all grouping candidate. Within span, If I try to put a div inside, what will happen? Check. That is what your testing, your practice is all about. It is not that I have to tell it in the class. You have to come up with more and more ideas. Who is superseding whom, right? I'll put it one more span here. If you have a proper editor, automatically the close tag will be taken care. I have already taken. I should not put a close tag here because I started here. I closed. This is my web element. Inside I have my span element, and then I have a span, and then div. Because without this understanding, you cannot have a proper designing of web pages. You cannot do. You need to understand what is block element, what is inline elements. You can see here my span 1, my span 2, my span parent, my span inside span. Then the div came in, my test 1, my test 2, because it is a div inside it. But you don't see that grouping here at all. It is all look like one line. That's it. Right? That is the HTML. That is what the HTML. It is very simple. You have to customize whatever the way you want. You need to customize, but understanding what is block element and understanding what is a span element, that is inline elements, is very critical. Yesterday we talked about superscript, subscript, strong, bold, italics, underline, right? So there are a lot of subterms are there. I've given all that explanation. It will be part of the class notes update that will happen in today's notes. Grouping element. Div and span are generally a grouping elements. Div is considered as a block element. Span is considered as a non-block element. That is inline element. That is all. So here the block is nothing but automatically it will go to the next line. Inline is nothing but it is on the same line. It is on the same line, it will continue. And HTML doesn't have a definite width. It is unlimited width. There is no definite width. It is not automatically, you don't think that it will automatically wrap around. Those are all to be done differently. So HTML, you can just, whatever be the length, it will go as per the way you put it in that inside the tag. So for example, I'll just copy paste this entire line as my one of my div content paragraph. I just put it one of my paragraph. One of paragraph I put. Then I should not use these tags. These tags are conflict each other now. These tags will not have a closing tag. For timing, I'm just removing it. I just remove the tags within that. If I remove one tag, the other tag doesn't affect me. So I don't think I need to worry about. I just given it a paragraph. I save this. I save this. I now refresh the screen. Right? So here I put it as a paragraph. Paragraph automatically done auto wrapping. Once I finish the total width, automatically it has done the thing. I'll do it inside the div. Let's understand how all these functionalities works. If I have a long length of data, how that data is presented in the HTML. So that is very important from the HTML perspective. right? How the data are presented, how it is working with reference to the browser. So this is also doing div. It is automatically piping, that is wrapping it to the next line at the end of the line. If I do the smaller screen, all this you need to test how HTML behaves, right? So these are all the HTML5 version of the tags. So he takes care of all wrapping, etc., within the div. So I want to now the next thing that we are going to learn. Are you clear up to this? Now we have completed the basic HTML. What is inline? What is grouping? This HTML is a grouping candidate. Head is a grouping candidate. Body is a grouping candidate. Div is a grouping candidate. Generally, H1 is not a grouping candidate. H1 is an independent element. H2 is also not a grouping candidate. These are all independent elements. Paragraph, within paragraph, you will not put another span item. You can, but you generally don't do. When we do, we will come to that. Right? When to do a span within a paragraph. We'll explain that as we go. Whereas div is a grouping candidate. That means within the div, we'll have a paragraph, we can have a header, we can have a list candidates, unordered list, ordered list. All these are possible. Is this clear? Please confirm me. Is this part clear to you? Any questions? Please then and there you ask. You missed yesterday's class. You will have a recorded session. Please go through that. Yesterday was only a very small topic we have taken. From today, actually starts from today only. Okay, so will recordings available for access. Enroll, you can access daily videos, right? But it is not mandatory to enroll. Where is the yesterday's recorded session? Okay, sir, okay. Notepad plus. Where I can get Notepad? Download. If you are accessing from mobile device, you please leave it. I leave it to you, but prefer you go with the desktop so that you can practice then and there. If you are not able to log in still, please check with the support team later after the class. If you are not registered still, you can. Good morning. Please send a link. Okay, Zoom page. Okay, then I'm not able to enroll. As it says, registration is good. If you are in Tamil Nadu thing, you may not able to enroll, but you can enroll it outside the through OpenMentor.net. You can still enroll. You can do that. Not span one, it is span. Okay, I think I have corrected it. Span. Yeah, that's fine. Why didn't you put right slash in my paraline? Why you did not put right slash in my paraline? In my paraline. My paraline P1. Why you are not removed? Okay. Why you are not? Because the tag, this is considered as a tag. So if I put a left one, it is considered as a tag. If I remove any one, it is waiting for the other one to appear. So I'll come to once you understand the attributes, you will understand better on that. So right now I just made it in that entire para as one candidate. I just removed that thing. Indentation is important. It is not a question of important, it is question of look and feel. Okay, it will work without indentation also. Can you explain spam and div again? So as I said, div is the tag which is usually used as a grouping tag. Generally, what I mean by that, I'll just explain it again. Generally, you will not do div my name. You will not do this way, even though it works. Even though it works, you will not do it in this way. What you generally do is div will be like this. Inside the div or a span for that matter, you have say some You can use span inside my workbook. Something you will do inside that. So it is always, that is why it is called grouping tag. And div is generally a grouping tag. Span maybe or may not be a grouping tag. It is up to you to the way you design. Whether you want an inline content, you can to manage accordingly. Like this it will be. I'll just go with ordered list today. Ordered list. I close the ordered list as well. OL is ordered list. Inside ordered list, you will always have a listing candidates. This is how it goes. UL and OL, it will always go with this. List LI, my list one. Right? Please, this time you can list one. You can notice that I'm not doing a copy paste, especially when I'm creating a new tag. Right? This is ordered list. I just copy paste this to another div. I'll make it as UL or unordered list. Okay. So save this. Go back to browser. Upscale. You can see here. My workbook, my list one. Bottom one is unordered. Top one is ordered. You can see 1, 2, 3 number by itself. So if I put list 3 in place of list 2, automatically it will get 2 as per that. So in that way. So this is, so today major thing that we have addressed here is blocking, inline, understanding the group candidates like div. Div is a group candidate. Span, you can treat it as a group candidate, but remember span is a inline candidate. So inline candidates are not generally used as part of the grouping candidate. Right? H1 is not a group candidate. H2 is not a group candidate. H3 is not a group candidate. Paragraph is not a group candidate. But paragraph can go with inline candidates. That is possible. All inline candidates is a non-group candidates. You can treat it in that way. Any group candidate can use inline candidates as a grouping candidate. That is possible. So when I say that, I can put here bold or strong. Yesterday we have seen bold. I just put a strong here. STRONG. Strong is also one of the strong. These are all inline candidates. Inline candidates I add against the paragraph. Nothing wrong in it. That is allowed. Right? So strong. I made it as strong. And I want follows to be italics. I is italics. So this is also allowed. So I save this. Just notice that. Notice the way it is presented here. Right? Anything that follows is italics. Anything that follows is in what do you call a bold, strong. Right? If you see this right hand side, all this tag closure, it doesn't have any impact because it is not having a start tag. So it doesn't have any impact at all. So that is why I just removed the one side of it. The other side I have not removed it. So like this, block quote, right? What is pre? What is DL? What is DD? DL is a DT is there. DT is nothing but a inline candidates. DD is there. Definition. Those are all called definition list. Definition list, the way it is presenting is different. Right? There are a lot of these attributes you have to be familiar with. Without this, you cannot be comfortable with HTML. These are all the tag name that I given is the tag name that is generally part of core HTML. Core, I use the word core HTML, these tags are there. You can always ask what will happen if I give my own name. try to give your known name. So it is not, I'm not worried about what that is. My mouse is somewhere. I give my own name, my own tag. I close it also. My own tag. Right? Give here my own tag. See what happens if I just save it. If I try to browse it, so it comes, but it doesn't mean that it works. It doesn't have any specification. If I right click and do the inspect element, if I go to the body, if I go to the span, all these are appearing. Where is my own tag? You can see my own tag is appearing nowhere. This is how you inspect your data. You inspect your data like this. I put within the body. My code says I put it within my body, but this tag name, it doesn't have any meaning. It is part and parcel of body. I'm just trying to see where that my own tag is. You can see that tag is, yeah, here, but it doesn't have any representation. It doesn't have anything. Right? There are custom tags which will come once we come into Angular material, etc. We'll see that area as well. But you cannot see anything here. It is considered as one static text. That's all. Tag names are ignored. My own tag is printed because he is not giving an error. But if you are going with a real HTML editor and all, he may throw an error. He will not accept this compilation. Are you able to? I hope you are able to follow what we are. So this is a way you just right click, inspect element will take you to the page, not from notepad, from browser, right click, inspect element will take you to the browsing. So please, is it clear as of now? Tomorrow we'll talk about attributes, how to use attributes, etc. We'll talk about that tomorrow. If you have any questions, please let me know. Keyboard, KBD and DFN. KBD is keyboard, DFN is definition. Definition is shown in italics. Keyboard, for example, I'll just you have asked for it. I'll just take one thing on a keyboard. I'll remove this one tag. I just say span, then keyboard KBD, and I say control CNTRL, KBD. I close the tag. Control C. I want to make it as KBD C. Okay, KBD. So then close the span. Close the span. Let us just see what happens. KBD is actually keyboard. D is definition. I want you all to practice in the practice session now. In this practice session, all the things that you can see here. Control C. Control plus C. So KBD is basically to represent the keyboard characters. Oh, I have not closed it. I'm sorry. I think it will come in a blue color. That is what I was just thinking. I think I have not closed it. Make sure my tag name is also correct. So it should be a blue color, it will come. KBD tag is closed properly. Yes, it is. You can try at your site and let us know tomorrow. So that is